Hey everyone, it's Jason. So now we got another expansion for Boss Monster. Tools of Hero Kind. I love that this is little tinier ones. They made it look like a Game Boy cartridge. Like the side and everything. So I also have Crash Landing. I have all the expansions, but I had Crash Landing, the one I actually owned before this, because it was new monsters, new rooms, new bosses. This adds stuff that, like a new game element of adding equipment to the game or items. So I skipped it because I was like, oh, I want more different, like more of the same content versus a new thing when I originally bought these. But I am opening this up first because I'm showing this one off first just because so it's not sleeved or anything like my other games. Just because I'm trying to like kind of do these in order. So it's expansion for either Boss Monster, Next Level, or Rise of the Mini Bosses. Actually, I think this came out before Rise of the Mini Bosses, so this was just like a reprinted box. So it's going to add 20 item cards, 4 room cards, and 2 spell cards. So it's going to add definitely some new stuff in there. But let's see what they do. First of all, we have a little rule sheet, which is explaining what item cards do. So, I'm not going to reread this all. I'll hold it up if you want to read all of it. But the gist of it is, beginning of your turn, you have a separate deck of item cards. You're going to have a back like this. You flip over one, it attaches to the appropriate hero that matches it, or whoever's been in town the longest if there's multiple heroes. Cannot attach to the star icon heroes. Then there are 2 symbols on there. There's a little running man, which is what the hero it attaches to. They get their ability. If they escape, then it just goes and then the item just kind of goes into the scorekeeping area. Doesn't do anything. If, however, you defeat them, you get the ability, and then you can use this boss ability during your turn. And then flip it down to show that you've been used. You can only have one item at a time, though, in your thing. I think heroes can only have one. It doesn't actually say. Oh, yeah, heroes can have one item attached. But since you're only revealing 1 in each turn, or 2 for a 4-player game, they're not going to, like, pop out super quick and super often, so I don't think it's going to super hurt the game in any way. Like, it's not going to make it... But it's going to kind of up the difficulty a little bit, which is something, actually, now, after I played the games a few times, when I first heard about this, because I hadn't really played it too much yet, I was like, I don't want that. Like, the game, I don't need extra difficulty. But you kind of do, to some extent. It's kind of nice because the heroes have, like, if they only have 4 health, and once you've hit over 4 damage, that's no matter what. You're always beating them. It's not an issue. So here we have Extra Life, a Cleric item. I love this as a Mega Man reference. From the jump, to the little thing, to the little horn guy that looks kind of like construction helmed guys. So the Boss Monster ability is, this turn you cannot lose due to wounds. Another player can still win due to souls. If the hero has it, if this hero would be killed, is returned to town instead, you get to keep this item. So they lose it, but they get to start over. We have the Holy Hand Grenade. This is a Monty Python in the Holy Grail reference. Each of your opponents must discard 1 room card at random. The hero says, if this hero survives your dungeon, you must discard 2 cards at random. Alright, so they're very different. If you also saw I also have a video with the Boss Monster box. It has some promo cards. I have some other items. At that point, I wasn't really quite clear how they worked exactly, but I wasn't too far off. The Inquisitor's Robe, Cleric item. Choosing to destroy 1 advanced room in any dungeon. Destroy the first advanced room that this hero survives. Staff of Healing. Heal 1 ordinary wound. Till the end of turn, each hero entering your dungeon has +2 attack, or health. Alright, so that's kind of cool. The fighter gets a goblin suit. Till the end of turn, you may give all your ordinary monsters 1 attack, or 1 damage. This hero takes no damage from ordinary monster rooms because he's disguised as a goblin. It's funny because he's in the goblin armory from one of the sets. Now he's trying to kill these goblins. Cause of the Berserker. Clearly a Wolverine reference. You kind of see a sort of pointy hair, he has 3 claws. Or possibly the mask, it could be a Vega reference from Street Fighter. Choose a hero until the end of turn. For each monster room in your dungeon, give that hero 1 attack. For each monster room in your dungeon, this hero has +1 attack. So it's the same effect, it's just whether it's applying only to the hero or if you're playing it on somebody else's hero. The Oversized Sword, obviously a Final Fantasy reference. That is an owlbear. I love it. Choose a hero in any dungeon until the end of the turn. It has 5 attack, or it just has 5 health. It just has 5 health. The Vaporeal Blade. Let me says that guy right now. Oh, it's Alice in Wonderland, and that's the Jabberwocky. Oh, I like that. Kill a hero who has taken damage equal to at least half its health. If this hero survives your dungeon till the end of the turn, you have +1 damage. Oh boy, I should show that in the back. Of course I shouldn't. Mage, we have the Anti-Lizard Magic. That looks like a guy from Star Wars. Not one of the main movies. He was in... Oh, I can't think of the name. It's the book that takes place between episode 4 and 5 and has Deckard. It's basically what happened. It's an interesting story. I think that's who it's supposed to be referencing. Just because he's blue and he has a little yellow thing on his shoulder. I kind of remember that. Choosing an opponent. That opponent discards a random spell card. If this hero survives your dungeon, discard 2 random spell cards. The Ice Rod. He's freezing the crabs. This is kind of a... Ice Rod would be like sort of a reference to Zelda, but that kind of looks like Samus, and she's freezing a bug. Choose a room in the opponent's dungeon is deactivated until the end of turn. Any room that this hero survives is deactivated until the end of turn. Oh, that's terrible. Oh man, that could really hurt. If they're like the first one going through. So we have Magic Mirror. Copy the boss ability of any face-up item card. And before this hero enters the dungeon, rearrange your rooms so that they're in reverse order. Oh man, he's fighting his duplicate. Kind of like the dark version. Like you do in Castlevania all the time. And then Necronomicon. This is Ash from The Evil Dead as a wizard, apparently. Draw a spell card. If this hero survives your dungeon, each your opponent draws a spell card. Thief has a bag of holding. Search the discard pile for a room with at least 2 treasure icons and put it in your hand. When a hero survives a room with at least 2 treasures, destroy that room. Cheat code, up, down, left, right. That is Contra's code. That's Contra guy, but he has swords. Choose a room in a dungeon. Ignore its ability to enter. When this hero is in your dungeon, ignore all room ability text in your dungeon. We have the 10-foot pole. Choose a trap room in the dungeon. Deactivate that room till the end of the turn. He's trying to stab a mimic. Or watch out for the Crushinator. I'm not really sure, I guess. When this hero enters the dungeon, deactivate the first trap room in your dungeon. The Bomb. Destroy a room in your dungeon, deal 5 damage to a hero in that room. If this hero enters the last room in your dungeon, destroy that room, it deals no damage. Boots of Jumping, a universal item. Alright, got some universal items here. Choose a hero in your dungeon, it ignores the next room in that dungeon. Every time this hero survives a room, it ignores the next room it would enter. Oh, dang, it jumps over rooms. We have a pet monster. It's a Pokemon reference. Choose a monster room in a dungeon. Deactivate that room till the end of turn. Or when this hero enters your dungeon, deactivate the first monster room in your dungeon. The Star of Invulnerability. Oh, it's the Fool, and he has a superstar. I love it. Choose a hero that has survived your dungeon this turn. Remove that hero from the game. This hero ignores any damage from the first 3 rooms of your dungeon. The Ring of Invisibility. Oh, it's a Lord of the Ring reference with the Hobbit and Gollum. Cancel a spell played during your adventure phase. While this hero is in your dungeon or enters your dungeon, you may not play spells. Alright, before I go through those, the new advanced cards, I just want to point out, because I didn't really focus on this, but on the bottom it shows the actual item. So it's like, you can some of them you can kind of see in the picture, some you can't. So you got like the ring, the superstar, they're just showing the close-up of the monster. There you can see his boots, a bomb. There's stabbing it with the end of the pole. Here's the C for the Contra item. That's kind of like the Contra C stands for. There's shoving a gem into his bag. There's the little Necronomicon clothes. The mirror. A frost cube. The lizard. There's her Vaporeal blade. Giant sword that won't even fit in the picture because it's so big. The claws. Elf suit. Or goblin suit, sorry. Staff of healing. The robe, the bomb, and the 1-up. The first couple, like, really, you could see the items fairly clear, but then later as they went on, you couldn't always see them. So I just want to make sure I showed those off. Alright, then we have some advanced rooms. We have a burial mound, the advanced trap cleric room. Once per turn, you may discard 2 room cards to flip over a face-down item card in your scorekeeping area. So again, this is kind of neat because it works with those, but if you're not using items, it's not that helpful. And currently right now, if like you only bought this set, this is one of my downsides to expansions, is because you only have these couple, like 20 cards or whatever, that's all you'd have. Which you're gonna come in, but the chances are, you know, if you jam this into like one big box set, you might come across these guys, maybe. But if you cram, like, mix with everything, the chance you're gonna come across these guys is gonna be so far and few in between. Not saying you shouldn't buy it. I'm just saying that's a downside when you have cards that are specific to a brand new card type. Is that if that wasn't in the original or there's not a lot of extras, they can get lost very easily. So let's reuse a card type or a item card. The Orcish Smithy. Once per turn, during the build phase, choose an unattached item in town. You may attach it to a hero regardless of treasure type. You're going to just hammer that armor onto that guy. The Artificer's Workbench. Once per turn, you may choose a face-up item in your scorekeeping area and flip it face down to draw a spell card. That's kind of neat. Then the Magnetic Ceiling. Oh, it's hilarious. Once per turn, if a hero enters this room with an attached item, you may place that item face down in your scorekeeping area. I hope that guy's stuck to the top. We have 2 spells, and it's different artwork. Looks kind of like Dig Dug. Which reminds me of. Choose one item in any scorekeeping area, you may flip it face up or face down. And then they have the little shield icon for the name. Alright, so that was Boss Monsters, Tools of Hero Kind. The item cards are pretty neat. They add just an extra element to it. Again, the advanced rooms and the spell cards might get lost in the main overall set until you add more item cards. I know, like I said, there's a special promo pack that has more item cards. But, you know, to find that. So I'll have to see if I know how many extra ones come in the other sets to see how much, you know, them cards are worth. Otherwise, I would say if I'm going to add this, I might not bother to add those extra cards just because of the chance I might get them. But then again, if you get them, you get them. But it does seem a little unfair to be like, hey, I have an advantage over this one card type, and then no one else might get me. I don't know. Alright, so I'll check you guys out in the next video. Bye.